pawns. Okay, so how does a pawn move? How does a pawn control? How does a pawn capture? Okay, how does a pawn attack? How does it protect? Or uh, how does it support? Okay, so these are the things we are going to see mainly about pawns. Okay, so pawns, if you are arranging the pawns, okay, starting position, right? So in the starting position, the pawns, white pawns, will be on second rank. So there are 8 pawns, and then the black will also have 8 pawns, but on the 7th rank. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is how we will place, right? Before we start playing a game, pawns will have this place, right? In 7th rank, these places, and white means it would be on second rank. Okay, so now note this very carefully. Let's understand how it moves. Okay, first this pawn, if I choose this pawn and I'm going to take this away from the starting position, which means this pawn is going to move for the very first time in the game. So now it has 2 options. Okay, it can either move 2 steps or move 1 step. So that is according to the wish of the player. Okay, so I can put this pawn to e4. Okay, only at the start. Okay, only when it is from the starting position, I can put it 2 steps or 2 squares, and after that, once it is moved, then it will go one step forward. Okay, so at the very first time. Okay, same for this. Okay, this pawn can come here. There is no wrong in this. Okay, because at first when you are pushing the pawn for the very first time, you have 2 options. Either you can move 2 steps or you can move 1 step. Okay, note this very carefully. For white pawns, this is forward. Okay, it starts from second rank, third rank, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Okay, and the black pawns move like this. This is forward for black pawn, which means sixth, fifth, fourth, third, second, and first rank. Okay, so this is how a white player will see the board. Now I'm going to see you are playing white and you are sitting here. So your board will be like this. Say for example, if you are playing black side, you will be sitting here and then your board will look like this. So when you are a black player, okay, when you sit here as a black player, you will view the board like this. Okay, see, for a black player, it starts with H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. So it is in reverse order, files. And then the rank, see, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is also in reverse order. Okay, but for him, for this pawn, this is forward. What is forward? 6th rank is forward, 5th rank, 4th rank, 3rd rank, 2nd rank, and 1st rank. I hope you are clear with this. I will be asking you questions. At that time, I will clarify your doubts. Okay, for now, just listen. So this is from white's player's perspective. Chessboard looks like this, and the pawns are placed on the second rank, and this pawn has moved 2 steps. Okay, and then the black has moved 1 step. Both of these are correct. Okay, so black, when he is moving from here, he has 2 options because he is going to move for the very first time. So he can either move 2 steps or 1 step. That is according to his wish, but he has only moved 1 step. Still fine. Okay, this is right. This is not wrong. Okay, this is a right move. This is also right. This is also right. Okay, and then now the white, can he also move this pawn 2 steps? Yes, because this pawn is going to start for the very first time. Now he has 2 options, either go to f3 or to f4. Okay, but note one thing, when you are playing on the real chessboard and you are choosing this f2 pawn and you want to put it on f4, then please don't drag it to f3. Okay, which means if you touch f3, it would be considered as f3 move. Okay, so make sure you pick this pawn and put it here. Okay, so whenever you play in the real board, okay, of course we will be practicing on the real board, right? So at that time, whichever piece you are taking, you take it and put it on destination. Never drag in between. Okay, so pick it and put it on F4. Or if you are deciding to put this F3 pawn to F5, okay, that is not possible, because this is the original rank for the pawns. Pawns will always start, white pawns will always start from the second rank. Okay, so now it has already moved to third rank. Okay, F3, it has made a move. Now it has to move only one steps. Okay, for the very first time it has two options. Okay, it is up to us to choose, and after it has made a move, then it has to go one step. Okay, so now I will see how many of you are there. 5. Okay, so now, so Aditya, can you tell me answer for this? So this is the pawn on E2. Can I put it to E3?
No,
Why?
it is not possible.
Why it is not possible?
You don't have to rank into E3.
No. See. Okay, fine. I will explain it again. See, this pawn, is it on the starting position?
Yes.
Yes. So when it is going to move from the starting position, it has two options. Tell, it has two options.
It has two options.
It can either go 2 steps forward. Repeat.
It can either go to 2 steps
Or 1 step.
or 1 step.
So that is up to the player to choose. Okay, if you are the white player and you are taking the pawn for the very first time, okay, your pawn is in the starting position, and if it has to move, you can take it to E4, or if you don't want to take 2 steps, you can also take it to E3. So what I was telling you that time was, you want to take it 2 steps. Okay, imagine you are choosing it to E4. So E4, you want to take this pawn to E4. At that time, don't drag it to E3. Okay, so if you are choosing here, then pick it and put it on E4. Now if you are choosing it on E3, then you just take it and put it on E3. So now tell me, can it go to E3? So what was the rule? First step, first, when it is going to move fresh, or when it
Can
is,
go.
yes, when it is going to move for the very first time, the pawns were given two options, 2 steps or 1 step. Okay, very good. So now next one, Litiksha. Now from here, okay, in the next move, can I put my pawn here?
No, ma'am.
No. So this 2 step is only for the very first move. Now it has made a move. Now it is no more in the second rank. Okay, it is no more in the starting position. Now where should I go? Then where will it go? Where the pawn will go? To its square, Litiksha. It cannot go
Ma'am,
to
E4.
E5. It will go only to E4. So it will take only 1 step. Okay, now Janvi, tell me, in this move, can it go to E5?
Yes.
Yes, so it can move 1 step. Okay. So now let be on mute, everyone. So I'm going to teach you how will this pawn control. Okay. So the pawns will move forward, but it will not control forward. Okay, it will never control this square. Even if there is an opponent's piece here, this pawn cannot capture it. Okay, this is the way. That's it. This is how it moves, but it doesn't attack. It doesn't control that way. Then how does it control? It controls one step diagonal forward. So this is one step diagonal. This is one step diagonal. Also note, pawns will never move backwards. It cannot go to this square and it cannot control these squares. These two squares, even if there is an opponent's piece, this pawn cannot go backwards and it cannot capture this. Okay, only when it is forward like this. If there is a piece here, this is one step diagonal. That too only one step, not two steps, not three steps. One step forward diagonal. Okay, so this pawn can capture this. So wherever it can capture, if there is an empty square, it controls that square. So from here, it controls this square and this square. That's it. These two squares. Okay, so this pawn cannot capture this. This pawn cannot go backwards. Pawns can only move forward. Pawns can never go backward. Got it? So I'll give you an exercise. So this is the pawn and I want to capture this. Okay, so I want to do this capture in two moves. First move and second move I want to capture this. And Pranjal, can you try answering this? What will be my first move with this pawn? And then in the second move, I can capture this rook
Go to F4 and then go diagonally
and
to
capture it. So
capture.
this is what I said. So now if you are choosing to move two steps, because it is an initial position, right? Second rank is where the pawns will be before you start a game. So this is the starting position. This pawn is in starting position. Now it has an opportunity to move two steps. You can also move to F3, but you can also move to F4. Okay, F4 is easier because when it goes to F4, then in the next move it can capture this. So now what I told was you just pick it and then put it on F4. Now in the second move, just pick it and then capture it. Okay, very good. So now Sai Charan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now capture this knight in two moves.
Go to E6 and go diagonally.
Okay, and then capture this diagonally. Okay, so now I will ask one more question. So now if this is the position, okay, Sai Charan, can this pawn immediately capture this knight in this move?
No,
Why?
cannot go.
So it can capture only one step diagonal, which means these two squares. Okay, so this is not on its control. This piece is not on the square where the pawn is controlling, so it cannot capture. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we know how to move the pawns, how to capture with a pawn. Okay, so one more question. So if this is the pawn, always note this is a black pawn. Okay, so black pawn will always move this way. Okay, so now Janvi, if black has to play, can it capture this pawn?
No.
See, we are viewing this board from the white's point of view. Now let me flip the board. The same position when we flipped the board, the black player will view the board like this. Now tell me, can the black pawn capture this white pawn?
Yes.
Yes, he can capture because it is one step diagonal forward. Okay, very good. So every one of you got it clear? Any doubts in the pawn movement?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so now I will teach one more thing about the pawns. Then we will do some exercises. Okay, we'll take the okay, this is black side of the board. I'll flip it. So this is how white side will look like. Okay, so white side will look like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 A to H. If I flip the board, this is how a black player looks like. I mean, they will view the board like this. Okay, they will see the board like this. It starts like this. Okay, now let's take from white's point of view. Okay, so here is the pawn. Okay, this is initial position or the starting position. Initial means starting. Okay, so this is the starting position and the pawn is moving forward one step, one step, one step. Okay, now when the pawn is on g7 and it goes to g8, okay, it cannot come backwards, it cannot attack backwards, it cannot attack to the sides. Okay, now it will remain useless, but it is more powerful. Okay, because it has navigated all the opponent's attacks and then it has gone successfully to the edge of the board, to the opponent's side. Say if we were taking this first, second, third, fourth as our white side, okay, our area of the battlefield or our area of the chessboard, then these four squares would be of blacks. Okay, so but it has navigated every attack and it has successfully reached to eighth file. Okay, sorry, eighth rank G file. It's an eighth rank. So it has successfully entered the eighth rank. Now what will happen? It gets promoted. Okay, so you can promote this pawn either to a queen, okay, or to a rook or bishop or knight. So only the pawns can be promoted, okay, either queen, rook, bishop or a knight. Okay, so pawn, you can't promote a pawn to a pawn because we understood that pawn is useless here because he cannot move backward, he cannot function literally. But since he has become stronger here, he gets promoted. Okay, there should be only one king for white, there should be only one king for black in the entire game. Okay, because king is the most important piece. If king is checkmated, the game is over. Okay, so there won't be two kings. Remember this carefully. Okay, note it down carefully. So there will not be two kings, and pawns won't get promoted to a pawn. It will be useless. So other pieces, what are the other pieces? Queen, rook, bishop, knight. So what will happen means when your pawn has reached g7, if you are a white player and your pawn has reached here, all that you have to do is to take this pawn, put it to g8, take it away from the board, and you can take any one of these four pieces according to the position. So whichever you feel best, you can promote your pawn into any one of these four. Okay, so now one question will come. Okay, so I already have a queen in the board. Can I still promote this pawn to a queen? Yes, you can promote this pawn to a queen. So this will be one queen, this will be the second queen. Okay, so then I already have two bishops, one on the light square, one on the dark square. Now I have a pawn here. Can I promote it to one more bishop? Yes, but notice this. This pawn is here and it is going to a light square, which means this bishop will act like one more light square bishop. Okay, so you already have a light square bishop, and this will act like one more light square bishop. So it will function like a bishop. Okay, so even if you have two knights, you can take the third knight if you are promoting. Okay, so you promote based on the situation. Okay, so now let's do one exercise. So what will happen for the black? I'm just flipping the board. So the black pawn is starting here. He goes 2 steps, one, 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 one. Okay, so and when he reached the first rank, when the black pawn reached the first rank, he gets promoted to either queen or rook or bishop or knight. Only these four pieces. Okay, it can get promoted to. And then see, if you are choosing to promote it to a queen, you put a queen there, and this piece is queen, and it acts like a queen. Okay, even if you have one more queen on the board, this will be the second queen. Okay, so that is how it is. So for a white player, if he reached to 8th rank, if the pawn reached to 8th rank, it gets promoted. For a black player, when the pawn reaches the first rank, it gets promoted. Okay, so any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
So, 2, 3, 4.
No, ma'am.
Okay, this is Pranamya, right? Pranav or Pranamya?
Yeah.
Okay. So Pranamya, did you listen when I was teaching about how the pawn moves?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that, right? And then how a pawn gets promoted. So you're clear with both the concepts, right? How does a pawn move? How does a pawn capture? How does it get promoted? Okay. Okay, now we will do some exercises. So we have a pawn here, and then we have to capture this rook which is on h8. Okay, so Aditya, tell me the first move. Of course we can.
D4.
Okay, very good. D4. Then
D5.
okay, then
D6.
after that,
D7.
then
D8.
okay, what will happen in D8? When it goes to D8, what will happen? It gets promoted, right? I cannot capture. Yeah. See, listen, I cannot use this pawn and capture this, right? Is it possible? No, it is not. Yeah, it is not possible. It is not possible for this pawn to capture something which is far away. If the rook was here, then I could have captured it with the pawn. If the rook was here, then I could have captured. But it is somewhere far away. Then what you have to do is to promote it. Okay, to which piece you have to promote it so that in the next move you will capture this?
Queen.
Okay, queen or a rook, both will go. Okay, both will go on that direction. So you can take a queen. So you have to put that and you have to take a queen. Now this piece will act like a queen only. However a queen moves, this will be a queen only. Okay, so now it will go and capture it. Okay, you got the idea? Next
Yeah.
okay, very good. So next Litiksha, there is a pawn here. Okay, and then there is a knight here.
Okay,
So how do you capture it? What will be the first move?
Ma'am, the knight move.
No, we are going to use the pawn and capture this knight. So where will the pawn go first?
First, the pawn goes E4,
Then
E5,
then
E6, E7, E8.
and in E8 what will happen? What does
Then
it get promoted to? So to which piece you have to promote this pawn so that you can take this in the next move? This pawn cannot take this, right? So there are 4 options for you. Okay, queen,
okay.
rook, bishop, or knight. So which one will you choose so that in next move you can take this?
Queen.
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 Okay. Queen or rook will do. Okay, so queen, you can use the queen and you can capture this. Okay, very good. So okay, now everyone be on mute. Pranjal, try answering this. So where will this pawn go?
The pawn will go two steps on F4, and
Okay.
it will go on F5, and then
Okay.
on F6, and then
Hmm.
on F7, and
Hmm.
then on F8, and promote it in a knight and
Okay.
go in that.
Capture it. Very good. It will get promoted to a knight because for a knight it is easy to capture this knight. Okay, because it falls directly on the landing square. So this is the landing square. Yes. So
Or
one.
we can go to um, uh, I was thinking of the knight. It will go to F7, and then can I go?
No need. You can directly capture this. Right. This is the landing square.
Yeah, so I was saying it was. I was thinking it was gonna go down.
Yeah, it will go down only. It can move. It can move to the landing square. So this is the knight. It can move to all the landing squares. All
Okay.
these circles, leave this arrow mark, it was mouse mistake. Okay, so these squares, it can move downwards, no problem with knights. Okay, it doesn't concern the traveling way. Okay, so this way, right, this is only for us to understand that this is how it moves, but all that the knight concerns is the landing square. Okay, to reach the landing square we are using that technique so that we don't uh, find the landing square wrong. Okay, so we'll be sure with the landing square if we apply that technique. That's it. Okay, very good. So now Pranamya, can you try capturing this bishop?
Yes.
You have to do it in 2 moves.
Go to E4.
Very good. So e4, then capture this. Very good. Sai Charan, this is our pawn. Okay, how will it capture this pawn? So this e7 is our pawn. We are black. So where should it go first?
Need to go to E6.
Okay, e6, then
E5.
okay, then
E7.
e
E4.
uh,
E4.
after that
E3.
okay, very good. Then
It cannot capture.
it cannot capture this, but you have to promote and then capture this.
Need to go to E1.
E2, then only it can go to E1. Now, to which piece it has to get promoted so that you can capture this in the next move? So you have 4 options. Only these 4. So it has to promote to a see, this is diagonal from here.
Bishop.
Yeah, bishop or
Queen.
so you can either take a queen or take a bishop. Then in the next move you can capture this. Okay, very good. Litiksha, can you try this? So this is our pawn, black pawn, and you have to capture this piece. So how do we do it?
And we have to go C5.
Okay, c5, then
C4.
okay, then
C3.
okay, then
C2.
okay,
C1.
then
And
you can
queen.
capture like this. You have to promote it to queen, then
Queen
capture,
and
and then capture. Very good. Okay, so Janvi, can you try this? This is our pawn, and you have to capture this.
go to E6.
Okay, e6, then
Go to E5.
okay,
Go to E4.
okay. After that,
Go to E3.
e3, then
Go to E2.
okay, then
Go to E1.
what will happen in e1?
Queen.
Okay, so you want to take a queen, then
Go to F2.
you want to go to f2. Now can you capture this easily?
Yes.
Oh, how will you capture? Queen will be on f2. From f2, this is the diagonal. This is how it moves. Queen, right?
Then go to
It's not on the way, so it cannot capture in one move. So you have to align this queen with this rook so that in next move it can capture.
go to
Go to f2. No, where else will you go? I mean, you can go to f2, then you have to take one more step, right? So let's not. G1 would be good. You can go to G1. Now can you capture?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Super. Next. Pranamya, how will this black pawn capture this knight?
Go to 6
E6. Now
E6. Now go to E5.
why should you go to E5? Can't you directly capture this?
Yes.
From here, this is one step diagonal forward, right? Because this is how a black player will view the board. Now can he capture this? Yes, he can capture. Okay. So all of you got the concept well? So how does a pawn move? So Aditya, can you try to make a sentence? Pranamya, be on mute. Aditya, so now try to tell how will a pawn move? How does a pawn move?
2 step, 1 move.
That is only on the first step. Okay. First, when it is starting from the starting position, that first move only has 2 options. Other moves will have 1 step only. Okay.
1 step.
Yeah, 1 step. First move, either 2 step or 1 step. That is according to the player. Okay. So you can put the e2 pawn on e4 or e2 pawn on e3. Okay. That is considered as the first.
Okay.
From second move, only 1 step. You got it right?
Yeah.
Okay, be on mute. Janvi, how does a pawn capture? There is a pawn here. How does it capture? How will you put that into words? So this square, this square. Try to make sentence out of it. Mm. Okay, repeat after me. 1 step.
1 step.
Forward diagonal. Okay.
Forward diagonal.
Yeah. So that is where the pawns will capture. Okay. So now Litiksha, others be on mute. Okay. Litiksha, what will happen when the pawn moves to the edge of the board?
Ma'am, just a moment.
What will happen to the pawn? Say for example, the
Queen.
pawn. What do you call it? It get promoted. Tell.
It can promoted.
It gets promoted. Okay. So which are the 4 pieces it gets promoted to?
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Queen. Okay.
Queen.
After that, it will never get. Okay. Listen, one thing very important. There will be only 1 king in the chessboard. Okay. Pawns will never get promoted to king. King is the most important
Okay.
piece. Okay. So they cannot get promoted to king. Okay. So that is not possible. So there cannot be a second king in the chessboard. So you have to, and
Okay.
pawns, becoming a pawn is useless because they cannot move backwards. Since they are stronger, since they navigated all the attacks, you have to name only the 4 pieces. So 4, tell. Leave the king, leave the pawn. Other 4 pieces. What are they?
Queen.
Okay. So it can either get promoted to a queen or
Queen, bishop, rook.
then
Knight.
so only these 4 pieces. Okay, if you are promoting the pawn, it will only gets promoted to these 4 pieces. You should always leave the king and the pawn. Okay, so promoting to a pawn is useless. Promoting to king is impossible. Okay, because there can be only 1 leader. Okay, what will happen if a country has 2 leaders? So that won't be a good thing, right? Nothing,
Ma'am?
nothing. There won't be 2 kings. Okay, there will be only 1 king. Okay, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so always remember there will be only one king till the end of the game in the chessboard. Black will have one king, white will have one king. Okay, there is no second king. Next, Pranamya,
Ma'am.
I will show you a position and I want you to answer. The pawn is here in c6. Okay, can it capture the knight, which is on b7? You have to check carefully and then answer me.
Yes.
Yes, no. Yes, very good. So this can capture this. The reason is this pawn moves forward like this. This is a black pawn. So it can capture this. Okay, very good. So there is a pawn here. Now can it capture this? Pranjal, can you answer me? Can this pawn, which is in e4, capture this rook?
It can go diagonally and capture it.
Check again. Which pawn is that and which piece it is capturing? How does that pawn move? That is a black pawn. So can it capture, yes or no?
Yes.
No, it cannot capture. It's right. Okay, I flipped the board. Okay. So since I flipped the board, it's possible. Okay. Since I flipped the board, it's possible. But wait, I will put the same position here. From the white's perspective, the black pawn is here and then the rook is here. Now tell if it is possible.
Yes.
Now it is not possible because this black pawn start in the 7th rank. Okay, and then it moves forward like this to the 1st rank. Now from here this is backwards for the black. Okay, your board will look like this exactly. If you are the black player, you will view the board like this. Now tell me, can you capture this? No. Okay, the same thing you are seeing it in white's point of view. Okay, the same board. Now if white is sitting here, the white will view the board like this. Okay, now for a black pawn, this is back side. Pawns will never move back. Pawns will never back side. Okay, it will only move forward. It will only capture one step forward diagonal. So now tell me, can it capture that or not? So this is not possible. This pawn cannot capture this piece. Okay, because it is moving this way. It is not moving the other way. So you got it right? Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So now the last question. Sai Charan. So where will you arrange the white pawn when you start the game?
2 step or 1 step?
No, I'm asking you in which rank you will arrange the pawns. So you will arrange 8 pawns, right? So if you are playing white, in which rank you will arrange all the 8 pawns?
In second rank.
Very good, super. So can we end the class today? Chalo, bye. Bye. Any
Bye,
doubt? Okay, we will again revise this, okay? Knight and pawn, we will again revise this in the next class, okay? So, bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.